where to go. There's a man over there into the music scene, showing lots of love for the community with great advice. I know who I should go see. So Downtown Radio Show is where I go for the latest band info. So Downtown Radio Show.
Hi, Karis.
For the music.
Hi. I couldn't get my computer to work.
It's the all around town radio show. The all around town radio.
Ow! I'm coming.
It's the Weekend Review. It's a Bible coming for you. Speaking with the fans, sometimes they don't show well. Whatever, man. We're covering who's playing out off the open jam with the Who's Who of Talent. Come Friday night.
One.
All right, here we are.
All right.
Are you with me?
I'm not sure I understand.
Oh, yeah. I had to use my phone because my computer, I can't log into the Facebook. Ow! Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Are you settled in yet?
Trying to be.
Okay. I'm gonna wait for you here and see what
I'm here.
happens.
I'm here.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Hot Topic Tuesday. And boy, is it a hot one. Woo!
It got hot.
And I'm
didn't
not
it?
I'm not talking about temperature either. I'm talking about all the comments that came in. People interpret things a whole lot different than the way you post them. I mean, wait till I read you the person who wrote in. I'm going to read you what they wrote, and then you're going to say, how did it all end up there? But yeah, it's kind of fun. Fun to see. How you doing, Karis?
I'm good. How are you? I'm kind of bummed because now I can't see the comments on my phone. How do I fix
Oh, that's not good. You're on your phone instead of your computer?
because my computer is not working.
Oh,
Like-
that's not good.
I know.
All right. Well, we got a lot of people checking in. Let me give a quick shout out to some of them as we gather some live viewership here. Got to say hi to Glenn on the YouTube channel, Kareem in the house, Tina Reed Ramsey from O'Connor's Irish Pub. Thank you for being here. Steve Downey in the house, Ed Sawicki of Ed Sawicki Photography Extraordinaire. Gina McCann in the house. How you doing, Gina? Gina and Johnny Band and everything else she does. Ditch, thanks for being here. Kara, hi. How are you? Casey Gomez is here with his skin crawling. How you doing, Casey? Good to have you with us. And what do we got? Alex Hall, what's going on? Thank you for being here. My brother from another mother. Jeffrey, Ray Renee, Jimmy Kilroy. Chris Reese has nothing to say but sup.
Sup.
Sup. Sup.
Sup.
Skip from Liars for Hire. It's a good one. Good one today. We got a good one for you today, to quote Steve Harvey. Greg Goforth in the house. Stephen Bell. Tom. Steve Stein. Gosh, everybody's rolling in, Karis. We got so many of them here. Jim McCarthy. Did you see the comments? Have you been following the comments on this post?
Yeah, because I got involved in them too.
I mean, talk about going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, seriously.
It got wild and crazy. And boy, is it divided. Just like everything else in America today, it's divided.
I don't know if it was so much. I didn't see it as divided. I think we all pretty much agreed, but you know, I'm not. You know, there's the ones that are the mouthiest. I wasn't surprised by their opinion.
Wow. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? She's coming out of the chute today. What's up, Chris Lee? Mrs. All Around Town in the house. Javon Kennedy is
What's
here.
up?
Angie. I'm
just gonna
Hi,
watch
everyone.
the comments, not because I can only do one or the other.
Right. I'm going to throw the comments up as fast as I can get them up here today, but it's going to be a busy one. And let's get this rolling. Is it okay? Can you indulge me just a moment to start with a little bit of a monologue here and a disclaimer? And you know our disclaimer, Karis, right? Let's put
Absolutely.
that up there before I piss off all my sponsors and those kind of things. The views and opinions expressed in this program or those of the speakers do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of our sponsors or any entities that they represent. Okay, we good with that?
Yeah, I'm
All right.
fine.
Now, here's how this all started. You know, we take things in and people send us ideas for Hot Topic Tuesday. By the way, I'm sporting the Rick Kearns fan club shirt today. Rick will be happy I did that on this day. What this person wrote in, and I don't ever disclose who did it because I want to keep their privacy. They send us topics, and I want to make sure we don't violate that. But it says, I have a Hot Topic Tuesday topic. What about when it's time to make amends? Over the years, some of us have made mistakes saying something to another band or band member or something about their bands. I know I put a dent in my reputation over one snide public comment on, get this, MySpace, okay, on MySpace that haunted me for years, and I didn't learn about it till 2 or 3 years ago. It caused a lot of grief. I think we need to all work to come together. It seems like the scene is finally heading that way, especially after the Bell and the Bear opened. But there's still skeletons and rumors and things folks need to air out. I'm a mental health professional by day, and I've learned a great deal about healing, and I'd love to offer a platform to help clear the air for me to say some I'm sorries and to encourage others to be brave. So
What
that
a
was
statement.
that. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's the way this was going. And when we posted it and said social media, it immediately turns to politics in many people's eyes.
Because that's literally that's
What happens?
fucking shit that's in the world right now. That's all that people can agree on, to hate each other over their political beliefs. That's the one thing that we can agree on.
You think?
Yeah.
I think all of us can agree on that. And, you know, social media is not going away. It's a huge part of everybody's lives. I know people who tell me all the time it doesn't matter to them, whatever. But for the most part, if you'll look at the numbers, and I'm just going to throw it out there, something as simple as LinkedIn has 396 million users. Twitter, or whatever it's called now, X, 307 million. Facebook, 1.5 billion people on it. It ain't going away, people. It's not. It's where people find out things. It's where people, I mean, we had a tragedy up north of us today. The news, I mean, you were finding out things long before the news ever told it on social media. And unfortunately, it was true. Those kind of things. So, you know, I mean, it's just social media can easily lend itself to blurring the lines between the user's professional and personal life. And I saw some comments today, and I tried to comment on Chris Reese's. It wouldn't let me for some reason. Chris made a comment. He's out there that his personal page is his personal page and his band page is his band page. But there's so much cross-pollination that happens on those.
So I'm going to tell you right now, as a music venue owner and somebody who does the booking, first thing I do is when a band approaches me, this is why you need to really utilize your band page is, and I know that I'm not the only one because I got the idea from like other people, like even pretty much any successful music venue is going to do this. The first thing they check is your Facebook page and your Instagram page, business page, band page. Then they move to your personal page, because unfortunately what you say on your personal page will 100% affect, I mean, it can and it can't, but it will affect what's happening, who's coming in, who's not, how, like, whatever it may be. If you're an asshole, I'm probably not going to book you. You know, if you're posting racial or really bigoted or like really nasty and being mean comments, I'm going to check your Facebook, because that's not what my venue or I stand for. So I cannot have that in my venue. So it intertwines 100%.
And can I just say too, we are the messenger here. All these comments today were not put out. I mean, we commented on things. I commented on my views on things. You did on yours, but we're the messenger. So please don't shoot the messenger today when we start talking about a lot of this that ends up being a hot button topic, because It can be. It can be an extreme hot button topic. There are so many people out there who voice their opinions, and you've heard my opinion. I mean, I know musical acts who have killed their career over a post or over a comment and things like that. But it's your choice. If you want to kill half your audience, that's your choice. I don't care. It's a free country. I really do believe in free speech.
Yeah, and don't go blaming everybody else because of the choices you made. You get
don't blame the other side.
Yeah, you get to say whatever you want. Bravo, that's on you. Nobody's going to say that's part of, that's your right. But it's also the other people's rights on the other side to decide what they will and will not accept personally and how it affects them. So, I mean, it goes both ways. Freedom of speech goes both ways, whether you agree with it or whether you don't. Whether you agree with the topic or what's being said or whether you don't.
And from the venue owner standpoint, and I'm speaking from somebody on the outside looking in, but I can tell you if that venue owner has an opinion, about something, and they think what you're posting, they don't want you in their venue because of your beliefs and the way you do that, for fear that you might do it from the stage or whatever, that's their choice as well. I mean, you can't draw two swords out here and one of them be made of rubber. I mean, you're going to have a sword fight between two people, and it's going to happen. And it's unfortunate that the world has come to that. We are a divided society. The music community.
Because of that, though, I mean, that's what it's about. I mean, if everybody was just able to voice their opinion politely and kindly without putting down the other opinion, then we wouldn't be so divided. But all these people that think because they're standing so strong to what they believe on, whether you bleed blue or red, when you come out fighting, like in the sense of, well, this is so great, and then you can't even finish your sentence without insulting the other side, you are part of the problem. You are exactly like the side that you're fighting against. If you can come out and be like, I believe in this and this is great. Great. That's respectable. But you lose any type of validation or anything as soon as it's embarrassing as soon as you start bashing the other side. I mean, if you can't, if it's that's what it's about. People can have their opinions. It's when you're being an asshole is when you've completely outridden or outwrote whatever that opinion was, and nobody's going to have respect for you. Nobody.
Right. Now I'm seeing a comment. I'm seeing a comment, Karis, from Stephen Bishop here, who says, don't broadcast your dirty laundry or anything too controversial. If an individual wants to know what I'm thinking, just ask in person. That's probably a great practice. And I noticed today some of the comments, and when I said divided earlier, there were people who were saying, don't ever air your dirty laundry. Don't ever tell anybody how you feel politically. Don't tell them about race, religion, none of that. And I don't necessarily, I think we live in a free country and you're allowed to say what you want to say. You just have to be prepared to have someone else with a differing opinion. It's going to happen. People are going to, how do we say? I don't want to call it arguing. I think people are going to try to counterpoint you. It's going to happen.
Which is fine, but you don't have to insult people. There's so much of this passive aggressive insulting and finger pointing when you're trying to if you can't make your point without putting down somebody. And you know what's funny is that these passive aggressive comments that are coming out, you're putting down your own friends, because you have friends that think differently than you. And thank goodness, because this world, I mean, being different is okay. And if you can't accept somebody for having a different opinion, then you're part of this problem.
Well, and Karis, Chris Kitchell here says social media can be like email. People interpret what they want. Yes, absolutely. It's how you read it. And remember, anything posted on social media, and I'm not just talking about being political here.
Oh, no,
anything you put on social media can be difficult to get rid of. If you have second thoughts about it later, it's out there. People have screenshot it. They've done things. It's going to be extremely difficult.
I mean, I've seen people promote their venue and their band playing at a certain venue, and then right after, knowing that there's something else going on, being like, you don't want to go to this other venue because that place sucks or that band sucks. Why can't you just promote your band and not throw shade at the other band? This isn't just, this is everything.
Amen to that. because people love it. And Greg says it best right here. The keyboard is mightier than the sword today. People get behind it. You can literally, as a person with a cause behind a keyboard, destroy a person's business. You can literally do that. And that's what's so sad about social media today. And when we posted this and that comment that came in, I was expecting some of this to go on in the comments, but I never expected over 100 comments on it. I never expected people to get that passionate about it, which is good. People are passionate about their views. I mean, I totally agree with that 100%. I may not agree with your views, so don't tell me I'm a bad person for that. I don't dislike you. You just have a different opinion than I do. And that's kind of the way I look at it.
That's the way I look at it too. And there's somebody that I love very much. I love their band, but I've had to mute them because I respect everybody's opinion, but I have a hard time holding on to that respect when you're trying to make your opinion. You can't do it without putting a whole group down. And it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter. But it's those sly past, like, I want to keep holding on to the friendship that I have with the person outside of this social media world, because I know that they're a really good person. But who they are on social media has made, I know for a fact, has made me cut their bookings to half a year, because it just doesn't look good. And sometimes business is business, right? We all have our choices to make.
I always circle back around, Karis, to a little statement made by Natalie Maines of the Dixie Chicks, which actually blew their career for numerous years. And I mean, it was a statement she made on stage, and it went viral. Everything happens today goes viral if something's wrong. And she drew the line and she said, I don't care. Well,
good.
That's fine. I don't care, but it killed their career for a long time.
And you shouldn't care. Like, somebody who I love very much, and he voices his opinion. He does it differently, though. He voices his opinion. He doesn't put down other people, like, when he does it. And he said, I talk politics because I care more about my country than I do about my career. And I think that's amazing. I respect that. That's good for you. But the difference is, he's not bashing the other side. He's just promoting his. That's or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean?
Amen.
And
yeah.
Whether I agree with it or not, that's irrelevant. This is a country where we're entitled to our own opinions, not to be bashed for them.
Well, and what you're saying about booking, and you just, it's this little light that goes on in the back of your eyeball, and you say, I'm not sure if that will. I may not care what this person's saying in this band, but what is my audience going to care? Is it going to keep people out of my venue because of them?
I know for a fact that it keeps, luckily my venue has its own crowd, and that doesn't follow this person privately, just their band's page. But I know a whole slew of people that won't come see their show because they're mean. They're just mean.
Yeah, I'm reading some of the comments here, and thank you guys for all the comments we're getting today. We appreciate that very much.
What's crazy in the world today is, learning is priceless. Like, being willing to just listen and learn is priceless anyways. Like, just shut up and listen, maybe. Be willing to listen.
I have people I totally disagree with their political stances, and I don't air my politics. And I'm one of those people who has decided in my life that I don't need to air anything about that in social media. Some people choose to do that. That's their prerogative. But I can sit down and have a beer with this person who is so vocal and so opinionated, and still enjoy my time with them, as long as we don't engage in those conversations together. I'm okay with it. If we get into those conversations, though, and start talking about politics and things, it usually ends up in a wrong place. And that's not good for anybody. And that's the tough part today.
It is putting somebody down, James, when somebody is specifically putting down a group of people. That's putting them down.
I'm looking for that comment.
He said
that one.
Yeah. I mean, what's the lesson that to put them down, or this is the lesson, don't work with this person because they're putting some, I mean, that's what they're doing. They're putting down a whole group of people.
Well, any shaming or calling out on social media is rude. I mean, it is. It's not something you should
It's
do.
rude. When did it become acceptable to be like, you guys are stupid because you believe this? Ugh. Like, shut the fuck up, dude.
That's playground bullies. I mean, that's what that is. That's going back to elementary school, and that's
But
playground bullies.
That's why
you know?
it's so laughable and it's embarrassing, because these people seem so smart, like in general. And you're like, when they get online, you're like, you can't even say something without insulting some another group of people. I mean, what does that say about you?
Thank you, TJ. That was a good comment. Thank you. And Casey
You know what
Gomez, thank you.
What we should do is we should allow that person that sent in this to do what that person wants to talk about, and have a platform for this person to do the apology and all that. Let's talk about that.
Well, I reached out, and I hope that happens. I want to follow up on this a little bit, and I reached out, and unfortunately it couldn't happen today, but I think that'll happen. And I will say she will be glad to come on. And I'll just say that and leave it at that before everybody's speculating who it is and who we're talking about. But you'll probably get to meet this person. I think they own their issues. I mean, I think they do. And that's the first step in any of this, is to own it. You know, don't you think? I'm losing you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Can you not hear me?
Yeah, I got you now. You're breaking up a little bit, Karis.
Hello?
I got you. Are you hearing me? She's apparently not.
I hear you perfectly.
So, okay. Yeah, I'm hearing you fine now.
Yes, I am. I am.
Thank you,
okay.
Casey. Thank you.
I think people, there was a lot of conversations going on today, and I would like to say this: if, as a venue owner, the first thing I do is look at your band page. If you are not utilizing your band's page, and then what we look for is how many followers you have. Are you promoting? Are you posting? What you're posting? Do you have your events up? All of that. If you're not utilizing your page, and you're really doing yourself a disservice. And keep it separate, but remember, no matter what you say, will always be seen. What was the lesson?
Absolutely.
James? I'm sorry. Yeah.
The lesson was in the
back.
comment before. You're right here. He said that, yes, it's rude, but there's a way to be a bigger person. That's the lesson. That's what he's saying. So again, it's hard to interpret your comments too, people. It's just like anybody's post on Facebook or something. When you make a comment, it's difficult to interpret the meaning behind it sometimes for us as we're scrolling through this stuff here. But yes, social media has given a voice to far too many, Dave Wade says. I tend to agree with that. I think where we were talking earlier about the keyboard warriors, and Karis, I worked for years as a leader in a fire department. And I can tell you that the first thing our background check people did is go to social media. And,
right.
In the last few years, I was an administrator there. And so many candidates got kicked because of stupid crap that they had posted that was irrelevant, that had 1 like on it or 2 likes or people don't care about your opinion on certain things. They really don't. Really? If you want to voice it, it's your call, but it costs these people $100,000 a year job.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good. It's not good at all. And the other thing I was going to say, well, you go ahead. You've got some more on your mind, I can tell. So throw some things out there. I'm looking at comments.
I don't. I mean, I going back to the original topic of this show is I had a falling out with a band, and that person reached out to me and, mended the falling out. And I was like, absolutely no, that's fine. I'm not going to hold grudges. So to whoever that person was that reached out, there was always room for forgiveness. So I hope you do whatever. I don't know what it's about, but
I'm reading all these comments here. Michael May from Shorter Stable says he keeps his social media as neutral as he can because he has a home improvement business. There you go. And that's what I'm saying about all this. I'm not saying you can't have free speech. And if you choose to go out there and say, I hate the other side, that's your choice, but it's going to hurt you. It is.
Well, or it might not. And like I said, there's some people that believe that their country is more important than their business, and I respect that. That's the thing. Anything goes. It's your page. You get to do whatever you want. Nobody is going to stop you at all. Like, I mean, except Facebook. Facebook will stop you, but just don't be
Yeah,
surprised
that's true.
by the reactions to your actions. That's it.
And you're talking about being proud of your country. One thing I can say, and we have to all remember today, as we all wrote on this page and did all this, that this wouldn't be happening in China or Russia. Please remember that, people. We wouldn't have that forum to say all these things about the topic heading that we have today if we lived in a country that censored us. We have free speech. And for the most part,
And
people
it's
don't
free
abuse it. Yes. You're still breaking up just a wee bit there, just so you know.
I don't know
Karis.
why.
It's a signal issue from something, so I don't know. It may be just your phone or whatever, and we're getting a lot of great comments today. Thank you for that. Eric Cross, what do you got to say here?
I love that guy.
Moonbeams and fairy tales. I do. Eric Cross has the right attitude about a lot of things. And Eric, we appreciate you very much. And this is a hard one. This is one where you and I talked earlier today, Karis, about what topic we wanted to do. And we had a couple of them, and we both chose this one. And I think it was a good one to pick because you see the interest in it.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone has an opinion, and you know what they say about opinions, but everybody has an opinion and they're entitled to that opinion. And I was loving it. I was loving the comments because people were actually being respectful to each other, even though their opinions differed. And I appreciate that a lot on the page.
They were, but it's funny as I noticed though, that they also don't want to hear that.
Oh, there's so many people wearing headphones, man. So many people that have their opinion and put the headphones on, and then I can't hear anything else.
They're like,
Yeah.
I'm not even going to listen to, like, as soon as you disagree with their narrative or accuse them of not even of not being open-minded or being part of whatever, all of a sudden they can't hear you, but they're just so loud, but they're deaf.
Wow. I agree. That was a good statement. Just so loud, but they're deaf.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Hi, Brian. Thank you for being here. Matt, what's Matt got to say? He's got a lot. He says he used to teach at Ohio Center for Broadcasting. First thing I went over was social media. That was the performance of a social post. Yeah, and haven't we all seen things that go viral? Haven't we seen things that somebody makes a mistake? A friend of mine is a fishing captain. He owns 28 boats in the Keys. And he charter captains. This is a multi-billion-dollar business. And one of his captains lost it the other day on a boat because the guy that was with him, that was the charter, fell into the throttle, and the captain fell off the back and hit the motors. And it was an ugly situation. But he came up and there were kids on the boat, and he was cussing like a sailor at the guy. And the guy was like, okay, dude, chill. My kids are here and all. And he just kept going and going. Now he's out of work. And it's a shame, but this video that this guy took and posted, which that's the problem too, is the guy posted went absolutely viral across the fishing community. And that's just an example of how something can go bad in a real quick way. And being an asshole to people is not a good option many days. For you, your business, your career. If you're a musician and you say, I don't give a crap, I think Chris Lee posted earlier today. He says, I'm a one-man band. He goes, if people don't like me for my opinions and this and that, then they can move on. If that's your choice, good deal. I mean, that doesn't bother me in the least.
Oh God, no.
Yeah. And if I choose not to follow, and I'm just going to say Chris Lee because I love Chris Lee and he's always reporting in and all that. But if I choose not to follow him, that's my choice too.
But that's the whole point, is we all get to choose. Just don't blame everybody else for the choices you made.
The Book of Face gives an option to mute somebody or to snooze them or do whatever you want to do.
To save a lot of friendships. And I don't care if it's, like I said, I don't care if you bleed blue or red. If because I'm just using, because that seems to be the hot issue these days. I will 100% mute you. If it's so one-sided, because I know who you are too. I know who you are outside of social media, and I don't want to lose that.
I love Todd's comment there. He says you got to fight for your right to party. Thank you, Todd.
Yeah.
What do we got here? And Chris Reese says, well said, Chris Lee. Yeah. I mean, and that's,
that give you a right to call people names because they don't believe in what you're saying? I mean, it's one thing to stand up for what you believe in and to preach to what side you are, but does that give you a right to put down the other people because they don't necessarily agree with what you're saying?
I think Kareem also has a good note here about catching people at their worst moments sometimes. There are worse moments, and you have your moments. Karis, you've had your moments. I've had my moments on social media. And, you wish you could hit the rewind button sometimes. Even on our show here, we've had our moments where some days we kind of wish afterwards you've told me probably shouldn't have gone that far.
Yeah.
And we've apologized for it. And that's all you can do. And I think that's what our young lady was saying that wrote this whole thing in, was that she realized that it didn't even know she had done so much damage. Gosh, it's MySpace. How long ago was that? That now she's realizing you got to fix it. Yeah. And somebody said on the page today, never apologize was one of their things. You never should apologize for your opinions.
Ever.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think you should apologize for your opinions. I also said on the Facebook, everybody should have your opinion. You should stick strong to it. It's not what your opinion is. It's how you voice it. That's the difference.
I find myself good practice to apologize. I find it good practice to apologize if I've offended somebody, though. I do. I mean,
your opinion, and if it's voiced respectfully, if somebody is offended by your opinion, that's on them. Now, if you address your opinion in a way of, well, this is me and I'm right, and because you don't believe in this or you believe something different, then you're this and that, that's not right. Then you should apologize because you are really offending somebody. But I know Duke. Duke's offended. You've offended Duke.
Duke is making it vocal that Duke is offended. You're freezing up occasionally, and some of your faces as you freeze up are great, by the way. They really are. What else we got? What's Ed Sawicki got to say? Well said, Karis. Okay, very good. Thank you for that. I don't know some of these when it says well said, when that came in, because the comments are so slow popping in here. But and Michael May, I tend to agree with that. Try to keep your private life separate, but my personal page probably has, I don't know, 2,000 of the 6,000, 7,000 followers we have on All Around Town Radio. So it's cross-pollination. It is. So no matter what I say on my personal page, anybody that's following this radio page is going to find that to be either offensive or either happy. I posted a picture of our 4-year-old dog today. That's happy. That's happy.
Kareem, but that goes to my point. He said, I slightly disagree with Karis, which is fine. There are some who it doesn't matter the delivery. The opinion itself is what sets them off. But who's set off here? If the delivery was respectful and kind, does that mean that the person who with the opinion that might differ from the others should apologize for believing what they believe in because the other person is offended? No. If the person who is voicing their opinion, even if it does it disrespectfully, then yes. But we shouldn't apologize if we're being kind.
I always say I respect your opinion 110%. If you have a different opinion than I do, I respect it until you're rude to me about my opinion.
Exactly.
I'm not rude to you. Don't be rude to me.
Right.
And so many people want to be rude. They think it's cute.
Yeah.
Man, I'm losing you here.
Held in good faith. That's what I'm saying, Kareem. That's all I'm saying. Now, if I came to you and said, I think this bottle of water is bullshit, and I think you're bullshit because you like it, and this bottle of water is bullshit, well, I'm being disrespectful, and I'm demoralizing you, and I'm putting you down while I'm doing it. I should apologize for that because that was unkind. But if I come to you and say, I really like this bottle, in my opinion, I think this is a great bottle, there's nothing wrong with that.
And Bob Klein always comes through with a great comment, by the way. And Bob says, you must be aware, however, that opinions have consequences.
Absolutely.
They do. And if you don't care about that consequence, then it's okay.
But I agree and I don't agree. And I'm going to tell you why.
I knew you'd say that.
opinion has consequences, of course, because there are so many different opinions out there. But again, I'm going to stick strong to my wording is there your opinion, there's nothing wrong with your opinion. It's how you are voicing it. That's when the consequences should, well, rightfully, there should be consequences. We can't cater, you can't make everybody happy. You just can't. I learned that very quickly. So I'm not going to spend my life apologizing to people because of a choice that I made that did not offend, like that did not like purposely or like disrespect or anything like that. I choose to sell Absolute vodka and not Smirnoff vodka. Well, this person's pissed off at me. Okay. These are the choices I had to make. Words have consequences, but opinions shouldn't. You're right,
And
Don. Yes.
We throw that silly little thing up on the screen here, but I'll throw it up there again. Your opinion matters. It does. I mean, it does. That's why we do these shows. We don't always agree with your opinion, but we're not going to dog you out for it. I mean, we're not going to talk trash about you.
Nowadays, unfortunately, in like the celebrity world and like all of that, like no matter anything like that, having an opinion that doesn't follow the narrative of what the media or, you know, what everybody, whatever it may be, wants you to have, those unfortunately have consequences. And that's the problem, in my opinion, is it just seems unfair.
Well, to circle back around, let me circle back around because we're running out of time. We're not even going to get this or that in, but we're circling around here. What do you think? Yeah, something's going on there. You sound like you're singing auto-tune, Karis. You locked up again. I'm looking at the top of your head, though. It's really pretty. All right. So there you are. You're back. And I will say that we want to circle back around to musicians. Leaving you with some of these thoughts. Does it affect your ability to draw people to your shows and to also get booked in places if you have strong opinions that divide your audience? I mean, that's just kind of what this show was about. And, or if you call somebody out and people look at you in a negative light saying, look at them calling out other bands and saying they're trash, you know, and that kind of stuff makes me not want to hang around you. I mean, it does. And I will be honest. I've got you now, by the way. You're here. Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. So I was just kind of summing it up because I said we don't even have time for this or that today, but I want to get into certainly the circle back around to the music community, and it goes back to what we've said in almost every show: be kind to one another.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and understand some musicians wave the American flag on stage and rah this, and other musicians do not, but yet it doesn't make them any less of a person in your eyes. And I mean,
I just went,
Bob Weber wants you in his class at Miami to teach kids, I think, about this and to talk to them. I'm not sure the college would, well, maybe they'd approve of you throwing the F-bombs at them, but I don't know. Casey Gomez, there you go. Casey said he would not apologize for opinion. No one should. Just respect each other.
But just remember that how you choose to voice it. And I guess he's right. You know what? I'm going to take that back. You're right. Opinions do have consequences, but it should be based on how it's voiced. That's what I would like to take that back and say I do agree that they do have consequences, unfortunately, but it should be based on how it's voiced, not necessarily the opinion itself.
And if I come on the air one day and I say all these nasty things about people, you're going to have a lesser opinion of me. Many people will.
Well,
you know,
correct.
They will. It's if I choose to do that, that's my choice, but it's probably not going to end well for me.
No.
You know? And, you know, Casey Gomez has some good points there. And, you know, everybody takes a stand about saying, I'm not going to apologize. I'm never going to apologize. I've seen a lot of big celebrities. We're not talking the local music community here, but big celebrities who've had to come out and apologize if they want to continue in their career. And I mean, I hate it. It's the way it works. And it's a free country. You're allowed to say what you want. But when you start making insensitive comments about people who don't agree with your opinion, then you're as bad as those people you're calling out.
Well, that's
mean,
exactly
yeah.
it. And when you're only addressing, like, some people are just so close-minded that they don't even want to discuss something that they could possibly learn something because it totally goes against their own narrative.
I'm glad Glenn always calls these
comments, and it's hilarious, and it's making me laugh.
Glenn always calls these entertainment when we do these kind of shows, because, you know, it's not all about music. But Mickey Evans, thank you for that. Have a wonderful day yourself. I appreciate you.
Love you, Mick.
And you know, Chris saying he agrees with Casey and all that. I mean, I understand. But again, guys, just please understand, sometimes it doesn't hurt to reach out to someone. Even if you don't use the word apologize, it doesn't hurt to reach out to someone. Just as our viewer today that wrote in said, they would like to go back and make things better than what they said. Said it was a snide comment, shouldn't have made it. That's just the example we're saying. And we've all, in the heat of the moment, probably made snide comments on the book face.
And also be careful when you're putting down a whole group of people. You're probably putting down some of your friends. So just be aware of that.
Yes. And Casey says, agreed. Don't be an ass.
1,000%. Just don't be an ass. And here it is. If you can't have your opinion without putting down another person's, you're the problem. You're the asshole. Not
Mike, that's a great comment, Mike.
Huh?
Mike's comment I'm laughing at. He says they're rude. I'll dance next to them until they leave. I love it.
For Jim, by the way, Mike.
TJ, thank you. And yes, there's a lot of supporters on this show. There are people who differ in opinions on this show. We appreciate that a lot. That's why we do Hot Topics. If it were all one-sided, nobody'd want to hear it. And clearing the air. Thank you, Kareem. That's a good choice of words. And let us clear the air. We may not be best friends after that, but we might be able to be in the same room with each other, you know?
So, hey, you know what? To make this about music, yeah, whatever you put on social media will affect your chances of being booked.
You heard it from a venue owner right there, people. So there it is. You heard it here first. And I'm trying to get to all the comments. I don't think I'm going to get them all in. Kevin, thank you for that. Have friends that have different views and talk about stuff when we're out. Yeah, don't do it.
Me too. I have friends with I feel like I'm a mutt because I got views all over the place.
Yeah, and my views are based on the situation, not based on a blanket, throw it over it and say that's my view forever.
Sorry.
You know? Yes, we can get a drink and talk about it. Cricket, thank you for dropping by here at the end. Kareem, thank you. Guys, we're out of time. We've run way long today, but at one point, over 80 of you watching live. Thank you for that today. We appreciate that very much. And you can go make more comments on this show, or you can make comments on the post we made if you have an opinion on it. We'd like to hear it. We would. Karis, you got anything else going on besides October 8th? I want to give a big shout out for that. Women Who Rock.
That's going to be huge. Yeah, it's going to be really big.
Epic.
We'll talk about that when we have more time, but we have Gina and Johnny tomorrow night. Tonight we have Singo, Gina and Johnny tomorrow night. Thursday's the jam. It's going to be a great week.
And I'm going to be at Mr. Burroughs tonight, hosting some Quiztastic trivia, and then I'll be at Heather's on the patio with Name That Tune tomorrow night at 8 o'clock.
Party Town, Friday. Oh, and Boogie G and the Titanics. Everybody know him from Thursday, a jam session from Lexington. They're coming to play on Saturday. I'm excited for that.
Saturday night. I've been trying to find a time. He wants to get on a show, but I got David Parks tomorrow at noon.
Oh, okay.
David Parks is on, but I might be able to fit Boogie G in sometime, maybe on Friday before their show or something, and we can do a little interview with him because he's a great guy. He's kind of animated to be fun. Karis, I can't thank you enough for being my co-hostess with the mostess.
I love you.
Love you back a whole lot. And we'll talk more about October 8th, but I wanted to give it a little shout out because I think that's going to be fantastic. Fantabulous.
And I haven't
And-
posted it yet, but every dollar will be matched again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing people that do that. Absolutely. And thank you, Bob Klein. Solid topic. Terrific interaction. Thank you. Gina, thank you so much. And Karis, let's get out of here. Let's just say bye-bye to everybody. You want to?
Bye-bye, everybody.
Say bye-bye, and I'm just going to hit the goodbye button. Here